Hello and welcome to the Global DIY Network and to this my 15th interview in the series Meet the CEOs of the home improvement companies from around the world. My name is John Herbert and I'm the General Secretary of EDRA, the European DIY Retail Association, and of GIN, the Global Home Improvement Network. Together we have 217 members from around the world operating with 33,000 stores, and the members' sales slightly in excess of 340 billion euro. And I'm also pleased to tell you, with the 1st of October, the International Hardware Association, EHA, merged with the Global Home Improvement Network. And the EHA represents all the country associations for the hardware stores, again, from around the globe. So I really believe it is safe to say that EDRA and GIN really does represent the global home improvement industry. I would now like to welcome all our members, wherever you may be, and the members of our partner association, the HEMA, the Home Improvement Manufacturers Association, and to all those sponsors and delegates who have already registered for our next Global DIY Summit to be held in Copenhagen from the 8th to the 10th of June next year. And so it's now a great pleasure and an honor for me to introduce the CEO to be interviewed today. He is Pesjak from Merkur, Slovenia. It is without question the most dominant company in Slovenia. Very strong on Do It For Me, very strong on sustainability and energy consultancy. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to welcome Blaz Pesjak. Hello, Blaz, and good morning.
Good morning.
I say good morning to you, but of course I must say a very good morning to all those people in South America and in America, and to all those people in Asia and Australia. It's evening, getting on to the evening time. So we're very much looking forward to this interview. So tell me, Blaz, let's start first of all by you telling us a little bit about Slovenia. We know a lot about Germany, UK, Paris, but tell us a little bit about Slovenia, please.
Sure. Let me first thank you, John, for inviting me to this interview and to send my regards to all the participants. And of course, before we start, I think that we as members, we have to thank you for great work that you and your team are doing with EDRA, and we are extremely proud to be a part of this organization. And we do hope that eventually next year in Copenhagen we will again meet and have a meeting. So thanks for having me. In terms of Slovenia is one of the smallest countries within the European Union. We are positioned between Italy, Austria, Hungary, and Croatia, so those are our direct neighbors. Slovenia has 2 million inhabitants with a capital of Ljubljana, and it is very well positioned in terms of logistics. So we are also having a major port in Koper, which is responsible for quite a large portion of transit between Asia and Central European countries. So we serve the region with the biggest port in the Adriatic. Mm-hmm. In terms of business, Slovenia is very much an industrialized country. So the backbone of our economy is our mid-sized industrial companies, mainly exporting to Western European markets. But also trade is important, and as you have said, Merkur is certainly one of the most dominant players in the European arena, with a market share of over 30%, depending on the category that we are analyzing. Slovenia is experiencing a construction boom, also strong GDP growth figures. So I would say that no matter Corona, Slovenia is doing better than ever.
And not only that, I think Slovenia is a beautiful country. I know when I came, I visited you twice in the last, since I've been doing this job, and I was very, very impressed with the beautiful countryside that you find in Slovenia. But I do remember you took over at a very, very difficult time. Merkur was going through a lot of difficulty. In fact, there were talks about it going to be bankrupt, and now things are very buoyant. So tell us a little bit about it, about how you've achieved this success.
Sure. Well, yeah, it is true. Me and my team, we took over the company in 2010, facing severe financial difficulties. So actually, there were quite strong tendencies for the company to go bankrupt. But we have been able to persuade the creditors that value can best be preserved by continuing the business. We saw that the market share of the company is strong, cash flows are stable, the business model is sound, and eventually they agreed. It took us 3 years to go through the insolvency procedure. But then have emerged quite strongly. Actually the difficulties have proven that the brand is strong, that consumer is loyal, and immediately after stocking up our stores, the consumer came back strong, and basically we operated with a profit immediately after emerging out of the bankruptcy. Mm-hmm. Since then, we have been able to grow revenue and also the profitability at quite a fast pace. And I would say that we are now again gaining market share. Even with the big market share we already command, we are gaining market share and developing quite dynamically. Also, maybe opening new areas of business where I can say we are pioneers on the European scale.
So how many stores have you got today altogether?
We have 23 stores, total revenue of 250 million, mm-hmm. and an EBITDA of this year, hopefully 12 million euros.
And how big are your stores approximately? What's the ideal size for a store at Merkur?
Well, a bit smaller than our European counterparts. So our biggest stores are up to 8,000 square meters, mm-hmm. and mid-sized store in the neighborhood of 4,000 square meters. This goes along with the market specifics. So our biggest market is Ljubljana, the capital, with 300,000 inhabitants. So actually, mega large do-it-yourself formats do not fit into our average sized mm-hmm. town. And our specific in terms of size is actually our biggest market advantage, because it is very hard for a European competitor to succeed with their business model on a relatively small local market in Slovenian countryside or average town size.
Yeah, that is quite unique, because when I think of Belgium, I think of Hubo, for example, and when I think of Slovenia, I think of Merkur, both players doing particularly well in these smaller countries with stores that are not such a mega stores that you find here in Germany, for example. So what is your, I think you call it now USP, what is your unique selling point? What is really very special about Merkur?
Well, I would say our biggest market advantage is the fact that we have all the best locations. Mm-hmm. We have been acquiring them for quite some time. Mm-hmm. And this goes with our longevity, our tradition. We have celebrated 125 years of existence. And with 125 years, we are one of the 5 oldest corporations in the country. So Merkur's brand has been developing longest. And basically, Merkur is a part of the country's DNA, so everybody knows what we stand for, what we can offer, and they know for 125 years. So it is very hard to think of anything else than Merkur when thinking about do-it-yourself or home improvement products. So I would say
go on.
vision, I would say the brand, but definitely a unique business model. The width of our assortment is, I would say, greater than of any of our direct competitors. And this assortment mix actually fits quite nicely with the smaller markets that we serve. So because the consumer is able to get everything with Merkur, so there's no need for him to go and shop elsewhere. So the fourth most important ISP is our staff. We have more staff per square meter than any of our competitors, and the level of service a consumer gets within our shops is perceived to be higher than with any of our competitors.
So to me, it really seems to be that Merkur is a very strong brand. You said it's been 125 years you've been operating. So what did it start as? I mean, 125 years. I don't know any home improvement or any hardware stores that hardly existed as long as you have done. So how did it start? Was it a hardware store company or what was it?
Yeah, actually it was a hardware store based in Celje. And, you know, when I was analyzing, you know, the company that I run, it is amazing, you know, how similar, you know, the 1896 shop was to what we are operating today. So the assortment was, you know, quite similar to something that we have today. If you discount for everything that runs on electricity. And there was one specific to this first shop that was opened in Celje. Actually, the owner of the shop, Mr. Majdic, which was the founder of Merkur, actually offered customers home delivery for the city center of Celje. So you were actually able to leave a note with the sales clerk, and he then took the shopping cart and he brought the goods you wanted to your front door if you lived in the vicinity of the town center of Celje. So actually what surprised me was that home delivery was already available in 1896. Wow. So actually the customer, you know, demanded it. You know, the company actually was able to provide such a service. So what we are doing today, you know, with the omni-channel and delivery options that we offer to our customers, it's nothing new. It already existed 125 years ago.
So it's always been a very service-oriented customer service. And as you said, you seem to have more people on the shop floor than your competitors. If I remember rightly, I think you're also extremely strong in do-it-for-me. Can you tell us a little bit about this do-it-for-me concept?
Yeah, sure. We decided we have always offered a higher level of service. But then 7-8 years ago, we have decided to actually make a package that will include, you know, everything from engineering to financing to guaranteeing for the quality of the products and services into one big package. We decided to focus on bathrooms. So Merkur is today the largest single seller of bathrooms in the country. We are making them in the thousands per year. And we are also known now for this particular service for several fields in in the do-it-for-me category. So besides bathrooms, we are also offering roofing, windows, internal and external doors, heating and cooling systems, and outside arrangements, some gardening services that we are already offering. And if we sum up the do-it-for-me part of our business, it will probably gonna go next year up to 5% of our total revenue. So it is a very important add-on to the brick and mortar business that we are operating. What we are most proud of is actually the part that is, I would say, very contemporary, very in line with what we as a society have to achieve. We have decided to actually offer a complete and thorough product in terms of improving the energy efficiency of an individual unit, home unit as an individual house. And we are today offering a complete energy renovation in terms of, providing a solution of installing solar panels. We are offering Tesla Powerwall batteries, heat pumps, electricity heating systems, and all the software and hardware that goes with it.
Yeah, I think I've seen a sketch of something like that. I think Oliver has got something prepared to show our viewers today what you're doing, because I find this is amazing. You must have a lot of trust with your customers to be in this area. So just tell us a little bit about this, what we're now seeing on the screen.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really proud of this particular setting. It was prepared in our marketing department, but actually, the customer actually, especially, older generations, sometimes do not know what energy efficiency is, or what kind of products and services you can get, or how you can improve your carbon footprint. So I think this particular setting basically very how would you say, very vividly shows what actually one has to do in order to go away from fossil fuels to actually start using renewable energy to power its own home. And here with this setting, we can actually see that you need to invest in solar panels, that you have actually a computer that is running a software that then runs all the other components of this system. So here in the left part, you see the battery. So battery is of course essential, since you have to store the energy you are producing during the day with your solar panels. Then in addition to that, you have two different electric power stations. One is from Tesla, the other one is from a local producer. And then of course, a very essential part of every energy transition, a heat pump. And in the right corner, you also have the different heating panels displayed, like air and the water heating electrical radiator. And on the top, you also see the offering, which includes a home visit, and the analysis of your current energy situation and consumption, a thorough plan on what is to be done, financing option, and also, all the paperwork that is needed in terms of getting state subsidies that are available for different parts of your energy transition portfolio. It was very hard at first to actually get the team on board. This is not a traditional do-it-yourself product, far from it. So it is something new. It is something that that was hard to sell internally. But I have to say that that after launching the product, we are now about 50% above the initial sales figures for 2021. So it is proving to be the fact that do-it-yourself platform, in terms of the shop, in terms of the catalog that we are distributing to our consumers, in terms of the internet capability that we have, that maybe we are the best sales channel for a package like this. It seems that our initial assumptions to actually become one of the strongest players in this field is the correct one.
But how do you manage that? I mean, it's very specialized, and certainly you will not be doing it in all your 23 stores, I would think. Are you doing it? Is it a pilot, or when did you start it, and how is it developing, and where are you getting the people from?
Well, actually, you know, when thinking about it, we actually saw that we are selling, you know, every individual component of a comprehensive energy solution, but these categories by itself are not very popular with the consumer. We saw that the majority of heat pumps or air conditioning systems or other heating system is installed and sold via people who also provide the installment service. So we saw that actually the service part is the key with the customer. And if we ever wanted to become a bigger player with these particular individual products, that we have to offer a comprehensive service to the customer. And since we were successful with the bathrooms and became the biggest player on the market in terms of designing and installing and selling bathrooms, we were thinking that we are in a position to repeat this with the energy efficiency products and solutions.
Well, certainly your timing is absolutely perfect, and very interesting to see it. And I look forward to coming to Slovenia and looking and seeing it a little bit more in detail. But let me just come back to the other area, because this is where a lot of the home centers are thinking about do it for me, and you were saying the bathroom. So I think I'm a bit of an expert on do it for me, having worked for the Home Depot, being the president of the Expo Design Center for the West Coast of America. And this was a do it for me business. So got a couple of questions to ask you. Do you have subcontractors, or do you have your own people to do the installation?
So the part, so actually we acquire the customer, we invite him to our shopping center. He brings his plans of the apartment, of the house. We do the design. So we draw the bathroom. We choose the products together with the customer. We are even offering a 3D view of his new bathroom. He signs the contract with us, and then a subcontractor actually appears on the doorstep of a customer, does the installation, the building, and we are then also providing the post-selling services in terms of guaranteeing for the quality of the installation.
Okay, so I want a new bathroom. I come to you, I tell you my plans. This is what I want. You have a look at it. You draw a plan up with all the products, and then do I pay you? Do you take full responsibility for this project?
Yes.
This Merkur, you do. So I order everything through you. You pay the subcontractor. You do everything else. I pay you the sum. You're the only person I look at when I'm talking and organizing this. Is that right? Yeah.
Exactly. We are the only contact that you have in terms of your bathroom, and even if something goes wrong, we are the one to be contacted to take
Yeah, having had a lot of experience on this, one of the most important thing is a measurer. You know, if they come in with their plans and the measurements are wrong, do you send somebody out to measure? You know, the measurements are the most important thing before you ever start. Who does the measuring? Do you have a measurer? Do you go to people's homes to do it?
Actually, we rely on the official or
The official plan, yeah.
the plan that the customer brings us, and it usually works because at the end of the day, half a centimeter or 1 centimeter of that is something for the subcontractor to take care of when actually doing the work. So.
The other obstacle, of course, in Do It For Me is getting the right people. Do you find you have the right people in Slovenia to do this? Can you get the right people?
Sure. So apart from our personnel, which is specially trained to provide this service, we actually have a process in place that is constantly checking the quality of our subcontractors. So we are basically, asking every customer about the service provided, and if there is something wrong repeatedly with the subcontractor, he is then discontinued in terms of having a relationship with us.
You seem to have really carved out a very, very special type of business, I think, with the dominance of the market with your 23 stores, and then offering Do It For Me and offering this as well. So I believe I read something, you won some award about the most trusted brand or the most recognized brand in Slovenia. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Sure. Our brand recognition is, sky high anyway. So if you ask an average consumer which company he thinks about when discussing do-it-yourself or home improvement projects, it is Merkur in more than 50% of the cases for every category we are selling, except for garden. And the power of the brand definitely enabled us to have such success with Do It For Me also, because the customer knows that the project is going to be easier if they go through us, and that if they call us, they will get a response, and if there's a problem, the problem is going to be taken care of. It is also proving to be the same case with this energy project. The customers know that if they are going to go through Merkur, that they have a trusted brand guaranteeing for any eventuality in the future in terms of such a demanding project.
Well, Blaz, I followed your progress over the years, and I think you've done a remarkable job. So, one question: are you a retailer? Are you a banker? Are you a lawyer? Or what is your background?
Well, I started in banking. Yes, that's true, but then went to be on the board of a holding company, running several businesses, several lines of business, and ended up in Merkur as a restructuring CEO. But I came to find the do-it-yourself business pretty interesting. People sometimes laugh at me when I say that we are also a part of the high-tech revolution. But actually, if you want to improve your home, you have to use certain high-tech products, and we are selling them. We are not only selling them, but we have started to provide solutions that are pretty high-tech, I would say.
Yeah. Well, that's very interesting. So, just before we go on, I normally start with this, but we can't hear it anymore hardly. But this COVID-19 is roaring its head. We have record number of infections here in Germany. Thursday, there's going to be a discussion. Is there going to be another lockdown? What is happening? Some stores are closed. Most of our stores have been deemed essential, so they've remained open. So how has the pandemic affected Merkur, and have you had to close the stores?
Yes, we had to close 3 times. So first time spring 2020, second time winter 2020, And this closure then was also prolonged into 2021. So altogether, we were closed for 9 weeks. So it had, especially in 2020, it had a major impact on our top line.
Mhm.
But it has also, this particular situation has also proven that we have a really well developed internet infrastructure. So we were able to offset a part of lost sales through our online offering and our logistical capabilities. It has proven, the COVID situation has proven that we are right in offering new things, in developing
Indeed.
internet site, our internet shop. So all these projects were speeded up. And at the end of the day, in 2021, although we started as a closed business, we are probably gonna, have a better top line results than in 2019. And more
Really,
importantly, our margins improved. So actually 2021 is going to be quite a successful year.
Good. And so your stores are open, all of them now, all 23?
Yeah, our government decided not to close businesses this time around.
Okay.
So we also have high infection numbers. A lot of people also are being treated in the hospitals.
Yeah.
The government decided that, we have to just stick to the measures in place
Okay.
to keep the businesses open. And now, in the last 2 weeks, the number of infected people actually started to go
It's going down. Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah.
I think it was the right decision.
Yeah. So if I come to your store, do I have to wear a mask and keep social distancing? Yes?
Sure, yeah. Masks are mandatory with all closed spaces. There's a limited number of people that can enter a store at any particular time. So actually, there's
All right, so you've got it, yeah.
limitation that we have to check. But it is proven that do-it-yourself stores are not so problematic to meet this criteria. So FCNG stores are much more crowded than do-it-yourself stores. So this particular measure is not having a big effect on.
Yeah, thank goodness. Our man in Brussels, as you know, has done a remarkable job, Julian Boveron. We managed to get all the stores by the Eurocommerce, the home improvement stores, classified as essential. It's really worked very well, but not excellent, because it's still affecting 1 or 2 stores who must close, because we believe the stores are very, very safe. And if you have social distancing, wear a mask with the space and everything else, it's a very safe place to, it's a safe place to store. So we've got a couple of questions here from Virginia. Slovenia is one of Europe's countries in terms of digitalization. How do you attract these digital customers?
Well, I would say that we were early to develop our internet infrastructure, digital infrastructure. And, some companies have focused on the internet shop. We have decided not to do so. We have decided to focus on the content of the digital infrastructure. So what we offer is advice. So, and our internet page, our digital infrastructure is full of solutions, full of either in written form or in video format. And I think this is the best way to attract customers to your digital infrastructure. And it is now proven that 75% of those do end up in our brick and mortar store. So I would say that the best advice for developing the digital infrastructure is to put as much content as possible there.
Okay. Yeah, I've got an interesting question. I'll give you the answer and to see if your answer is going to be, if I was to ask the majority of people like yourselves, how is your online? They're all going to say, well, we started very late, but we're all tackling it now. We got off to a slow start, but now it's getting and it's growing. So that's the normal answer. So what's yours?
We started early, so we were the first to have an internet store in terms of do-it-yourself competitors. And our internet site is actually the 5th most visited internet site in the country,
Wow.
including news portals. So actually people do seek advice on the digital part of the company, and we are definitely generating a lot of foot traffic with, having this already in place.
The normal answer I would get from a company of your size would be about 5% of sales are now online. What are your online sales as percentage?
Well, we are getting close to 10%.
Wow, that's wow.
Which I think is a big success.
Yeah, I think it's a very I think it's a very, very good 10%. That's very good. We got another question now, Blaz, from Richard. You are helping customers live more sustainability, but what does Merkur do for its own emissions? I was going to ask you that anyway, but he's taking it off me. Go.
Yeah, we also have a decarbonization plan as a corporation. So the decision was made that we are going to cover all of our roofs with solar panels. Out of 23 shops, 6 solar power stations are already installed, and we are currently also testing battery packs with each shopping center. So we have actually installed 10 power packs, Tesla power packs with our closest shopping center. And in 2021, we have achieved 75% of self-sustainability with a combination of solar panels and the battery pack, Tesla battery pack that we have in the shopping center. We have also decided to change all the light bulbs, so we are halfway through this project. So this will halve our energy consumption in terms of electricity. And we are halfway through electrifying our car park. Actually, half of the management team already drives electric vehicles.
Yeah, wow.
And the car park that is used for daily purposes of our staff, so commercialists and merchandising people, is also half electrified. The end goal is to actually cover eventually not all, but let's say 80% of our roofing with solar panels. And now when analyzing the performance of the battery pack, we also see that it can be a very profitable solution for us. So we'll probably go with installing batteries in all of our shopping centers. It also seems to be possible to change all of our diesel backup generators with batteries. So a lot of opportunities opening up in this field. And what I have to say is that we are not doing it only due to wanting to cut the emissions, but it seems this is also profitable for us, which is a total win-win situation, especially with the current prices of electricity, which are much higher than they used to be.
Indeed, it's all part of the image. And I think you have to be, not only do it, but you have to be seen to be doing it, reducing your emissions, looking after sustainability, etc. And we are planning now in the first week of February, a webinar for all our members, where we've got 4 or 5 of the leading companies who we feel are very far on sustainability issues, and then inviting all our members, from around the world, to look in and to learn from each other what people are doing on sustainability. It is certainly going to be one of our main areas of work going forward. So we hope to learn from each other and to improve this. So I've got another one, another Laura Rin from the Dana Flag, new lady. Well, she's not so new, she's over a year now, working for Dana and the DIY International. And she wrote, on your website, you can read about the new store you opened in Primskov. Could you tell us more about it?
Sure. We have renovated the do-it-yourself department, and actually we just opened that on Tuesday, yesterday at 7 a.m.
Wow.
You see,
Were you there? Were you there?
It was opened yesterday,
Yeah.
So this was the complete refurbishing of the do-it-yourself part of the store. So the main elements are higher shelves, better signage, more display of the goods, and availability of goods within the store. So those are the main features of this renovation. So it looks really nice. I was very much glad to see it happen, and it opens. This renovation is opening up, I think, great potential for the company if we go through and renovate all of the stores this way.
How big is the store?
This is the big store, 8,000 square.
How many?
8,000.
8,000. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. We've got another question here. Have you seen an increase in young people coming into your stores and showing interest in DIY since the pandemic started?
Definitely, we have seen. Actually, we have seen that more people are accessing the internet page, and out of the total population, more young people discovered Merkur through our digital infrastructure, and eventually also ended up in the store. So the percentage of younger generation within our total population increased during the pandemic.
Okay. Just another question. What about, are you going to continue opening new stores in 5 years' time? How many stores will you have? About the same, or?
Well, we are just acquiring a store these days, so we're going to start next year with an additional store. So we're going up to 24. And we have a plan to open 2 stores in the next 3 years. So we're probably going to go up to 30 in the next 5 years, I would say.
And that would be it then. With 2 million people, I would think you can't go any, unless you come to Germany or do something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just one thing about, we shared some information from Bunnings of Australia on click and collect, where it was curbside collection, and it was very. Do you have click and collect? Is that very popular in Slovenia?
Sure, we do. We offer click and collect, and it was very popular during the pandemic, especially when the stores were closed. It leveled up a little bit now with the stores being open, but people are still deciding to use the service.
Okay. We looked on your website and found the motto. You said, we create the satisfaction of our customers with the best ratio between quality, stock, price, and excellent consulting. So how do you do that? How do you measure it? How do you achieve that? Well,
basically, those are all the USPs, right? In one sentence. So what we do is we have a very thorough education program in the company. So we are making sure that our sales personnel is always up to speed to what they sell, that they have the best knowledge of the products they are offering, of the services they are offering to customers within the industry. And I think that is the key to our success.
How do you inspire your people? How do you Is it through training? Is it how do you make those associates that little bit better than than was when they came?
I would say that the educational program we have in place has much to do with it. But you know, past the restructuring, especially in the last couple of years, we have also created a motivational financial motivation system that actually takes care of the people who are trying to do more for the customer. So people are sales personnel is rewarded according to the results they are achieving, and I think that you know it is not a very aggressive system, but it seems that people are much more satisfied these days because they do have ability to improve their financial standing with the performance they make.
Mm-hmm. So you've been a member, you came in about 2010. I remember the very start and how very difficult it was. So you've been a member of our association. What has EDRA brought to you, EDRA, our organization, brought to you in this time?
Well, we had some fun, John, right?
Yeah, we had some fun. Yeah, indeed, indeed.
So apart from that, I think that the meetings you organize are extremely useful in terms of content that you provide us with, the speakers we can listen to. And I have to say that I have personally gotten many ideas on what to do in terms of, you know, going forward the next year on our annual events. So great socializing, a lot of ideas, and also, you know, your efforts during the pandemic have helped us when lobbying for a more favorable treatment in terms of being, you know, open, partially open, closed in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I think what I've learned really and been very pleasantly surprised is how people are willing to help each other and how to advise each other and learning from each other and coming back to see the impulses we've been getting has been very, very good, I think. So we've been very, very pleased with that. Okay, so if we just take Merkur Summit, you took over 2010. The sales have increased, the profit has increased, the store's been turned around, you've brought new things in like Do It For Me, the energy, service and these sort of things. So it's really been quite a success story, Blaz, and you know, congratulations on all you have achieved. So I'm sure that the people viewing this today have got a lot from this meeting. Is there anything you'd like to say? We always like to give our speaker the last word. Is there anything you'd like to mention?
Sure. Thank you, John, for inviting me. It was a great pleasure to have this interview, to be able to share our experience with your audience. And as a closing remark, just would like to thank you again for the great work you and your team are doing for us as your partners. And we do sincerely hope that the event will eventually take place. And I think that next year we have to, you know, get together and meet.
Indeed, we're all waiting very, very much. We're just trying to get to Copenhagen next year, see everybody again, physically speak to everybody. I think it's quite nice to see people and speaking to them on a screen, but it's much better to get the vibes than when you're talking to people. So Blaz, it's been a great pleasure for you taking part in this interview today. And particularly the success. And maybe one day we'll have to think about doing a little study tour of the region and come into Slovenia and have a look at your stores and see what you're doing. Or maybe we can one day have one of our annual general meetings in Slovenia. So, yeah.
Well, in terms of Merkur, we will be delighted to be a host of any event you can think of, and we are ready to do it, definitely.
Okay, well, again, thank you very much for joining us, and I wish you continued success. Let's only hope that next year, this time, the pandemic is behind us and we can start all living normal lives again. So thank you very, very much indeed, and wish you continued success, and thank you.
Thank you very much.
And before I leave you, all of you, the next session on this Global DIY Network is on the 8th of December with our very dear friend, Ken Hughes. I always say our Ken Hughes, our friend, the Irishman, at 12 o'clock nearest, and he's got the local future of online shopping. So that'll be a very interesting webinar. Okay, so that's it from me, John Herbert, at the here in the center of Cologne in Germany. Thank you for joining us today, and I wish you a very good night or a good morning, wherever you may be. Thank you very much. And Blaz, again, many thanks. Thank you, and bye-bye.